It's finally done. Yo, Sheed, man, what the heck are you building now? This is my new all-in-one YouTube/filming setup, man. And since I'm in such a smaller space, I need all the floor space I can get. Yeah, this contraption is wild. So no more C-stand, no more light stands. How'd you even come up with this? I got you. Let me break down all of these parts. So this is actually my very first YouTube video filmed in this new setup. It's a lot smaller than what my gigantic basement and man cave used to be, but I'm trying to make it work. Now, I originally saw this idea for an all-in-one setup by Think Media and Taylor Lloyd, so shout out to those creators because it inspired me to create this one for myself. With this setup, I can move it around to wherever I need it to be. It doesn't take up as much floor space as would a C-stand and a bunch of different lights and tripods would, so it's very compact. And usually I keep the light at around 50% brightness, and with the 2 batteries that I have, I can run this thing for about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours of filming, which is more than enough for a YouTube video. I'm filming with this setup right now, and I'll go through all of the items from bottom to top. I'll make sure to leave links in the description if you want to check those out. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that sub button or give a like. So starting with the most important item, the one that brings everything else together, is this Neewer light stand that's stainless steel and heavy duty. This stand is super sturdy. It only takes up about 24 inches of floor space. I can move it around my apartment to film wherever I need it to be. The wheels lock in place so I can keep it. And I really like that it's bottom heavy, so you don't really worry about things tipping over. Oh, and also the height of the stand is adjustable, so you can get some flexibility with, where you want to put your light or if you have a lower ceiling. The next most important item on the stand is what powers the entire setup, and that's the SmallRig V-mount battery plate and these 2 SmallRig V-mount batteries. If you're not familiar with V-mount batteries, they're pretty much a standard in the camera industry. They clip on really easily, and you can swap them out to power whatever you need it to be. I bought the SmallRig VB99 and VB155 batteries to power this entire setup, and I wanted 2 batteries just in case, I forgot to charge one, or if one runs out of power when I'm filming and I need to swap things out. These batteries are actually super versatile and you can use them in some different camera setups. They also have their own charging ports on the top, so it has a USB Type-C, a USB Type-A, some DC power ports, and a D-tap to pretty much power whatever you need. A light, a camera, a monitor, your phone, whatever. And when I'm done filming for the day and the batteries need a charge, I just pop them into this SmallRig dual V-mount battery charger, and it charges both at the same time. So with the VB99, I can power this setup for about an hour and a half at 50% light capacity. And with the VB155, I can power this setup for 2.5 hours with the same light intensity. Next up on the list is this external monitor and monitor arm so that I can see myself and make sure that everything is in frame when I'm filming. This monitor is actually an Arzopa portable gaming monitor, but I just decided to repurpose this for my camera setup because I thought it was a big screen. It's powered by USB and it connects through HDMI straight to the camera, so it was pretty easy to set up and connect and repurpose. But you can pretty much swap out this monitor to another external monitor that you like or need. The monitor arm is the Vivo Steel Universal Monitor Arm that attaches directly to the pole. All I had to do was use an Allen wrench to tighten it together, and then attached to the portable monitor itself is a VESA mount adapter. So the VESA mount adapter is expandable and it wraps around the top and the bottom of the monitor to make sure that it, is sturdy and everything. And then I screw in the back, I attach the monitor arm to the VESA mount, and that's it. Now this Vivo VESA mount adapter, the one that's expandable, is actually really versatile. You can use it for tablets as well and some 2-in-1 computers, and I think it works for any monitor or size up to 16 inches. Now going up this tower a little bit, we have my camera, the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II, and it's attached to a couple of different components. The first important attachment is this SmallRig super clamp. It's really heavy duty and it attaches to the stainless steel pole of the tower. And then I also have a SmallRig extension arm that's 6 inches so that the camera is sticking out a little bit from the pole so that I get a different angle between my light source and everything else in the setup. Now attached to the spigot itself, I have a ball head camera mount from K&F Concept, and what this allows me to do is change my camera angle slightly, tilt and adjust the camera while keeping everything sturdy. You could attach the camera directly to the spigot, but then you won't have as much flexibility in terms of recording angles. And what's actually powering this camera is not the internal battery that it came with. I'm actually using a SmallRig dummy battery to D-tap adapter so that the camera can get powered directly from the SmallRig V-mount battery itself. Now this is really helpful because the internal battery that the Sony camera came with doesn't really run for that long, so getting power directly from the larger V-mount battery is much more beneficial, and it reduces heat from the camera itself. Now going up the tower even further, we have my microphone, which is the Rode VideoMic NTG. This one is attached similarly to the camera. I have a super clamp from SmallRig that's attached to the top of the pole, and then I have a Focus 20-inch extension arm so that I can boom the mic above my head and have enough clearance between the light and the microphone itself. This 20-inch extension arm is actually really useful, and I think it can hold about 7 or 8 pounds, so I may switch my microphone for the light in order to get a different angle from the lighting. But for now, I have my microphone attached to the 20-inch extension arm, and then my light, which is the last component, attached to the very top of the tower. The audio for this mic is connected directly to the camera using a very long audio cable, and you can actually power and charge this mic via USB-C, and I can plug that in directly to the V-mount battery plate because it has a USB-C port on the plate itself. Last but not least, at the very top of this setup is my SmallRig RC120B light. And you might have noticed a pattern here with all the SmallRig stuff. I am not sponsored by them, I just really like their equipment and everything kind of fits well together. Now this is a light that I was already using in my previous setup and it's very powerful. That's why I only run it at like 50% capacity because this is a small room. I don't need to like light up a whole house or anything. In order to power this light, I needed an XLR to D-tap power adapter so that the light can connect directly to the V-mount battery plate itself. So the output is more than enough for videos like these, but right now I'm actually using the daylight that's coming in naturally through the apartment. I'll actually show you in this next clip what the light source looks like when everything's dark. All right, so real quick, this is how it looks when it's pretty dark outside. I know it's not pitch black, but it's a lot darker than it was before. I have the light at like maybe 50%, maybe even lower than that. And honestly, this video looks pretty good. I am loving this. I feel like it looks better than the daylight, and maybe that's just because I gotta change around some things a little bit, but yeah, this is what it looks like. And that's it. That's the entire all-in-one setup. And to go over this setup once more, I have my external monitor, the camera, the microphone, and the light source all plugged into the V-mount battery plate or V-mount battery itself, and it powers this entire thing. So there's actually nothing plugged into the external wall outlet. I can roll this around my apartment wherever I need it to be. And when I'm ready to film, all I gotta do is turn on the camera, turn on the light. The microphone will automatically turn on by itself because it's smart and it's connected directly to the camera. And then the monitor will also turn on by itself because it detects when there's input and goes into power saving mode itself. And to clean up this setup a little bit, I actually used a bunch of these Velcro straps and it made it a lot easier to, move around. There weren't as many wires hanging. It just made the setup a lot better. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this setup was definitely expensive. The most expensive parts were actually the V-mount batteries and the charger and the plate. But if you wanted to make a similar setup like this and not spend as much money, then you could probably also use a power strip, connect everything to the power strip itself, attach that to the pole, and that way you have only one wire from the pole to the wall instead of a bunch of wires everywhere, and it probably will be a little bit cheaper and a lot cleaner. Again, you don't have to use all of these exact items in your setup. I just wanted to give a little bit of inspiration and creativity if you want to make a setup like this yourself. And again, shout out to those other creators who inspired me to create this for my small studio space here. But yeah, I'm really excited to use this setup more. Stay tuned for more tech videos and I'll catch you on the next one.